In the wake of the recent assassination of several terrorist leaders in recent days and weeks, I've seen a lot of people online discussing, arguing, debating what should be our response to this. Should we be celebrating and rejoicing? Or perhaps others say the Jewish response is, like it says in Proverbs in chapter 24, Ben pol oyivcha al tismach, when your enemy falls, do not rejoice. And you see people arguing one side or the other. And of course, the people who advocate celebrating these assassinations, they'll bring from other places in the Tanach, for example, elsewhere in Proverbs it says, Ba'avod reshaim rina, when the wicked are destroyed, there's rejoicing. So how do we resolve these verses that seem to be almost contradictory? And what is really the correct approach from a Jewish point of view in such a situation? You know, actually here in Israel, you'll see people standing at intersections giving out sweets in the last days, celebrating some of these assassinations. And then you'll have other people that are vehement that this is inappropriate and this is not what we do as Jews. So I think there's a very big difference between these two verses. And if you just read carefully, you'll understand when is it correct to celebrate and when is it correct to not celebrate. When King Solomon tells us in Proverbs, Ben pol oyivcha al tismach, when your enemy falls, do not celebrate. Look at the wording. The wording is your enemy, oyivcha, your enemy. What is he talking about? He's talking about, you have a person lives in your community, or you do business, you're in the same business or something, and you don't like each other. You don't get along. Someone you don't want to talk to, somebody that you're mad at, he's mad at you. Someone maybe did something you don't like, and now you guys are enemies. But it's oyivcha, it's your enemy. He's not the enemy of God. He's not the enemy of the people of Israel. He's someone who you see as an enemy. So the Tanach is telling us, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon is telling us, that don't be so quick to assume that just because he's your enemy, that he's evil and that you can celebrate. Because how do you know that God doesn't like him better than you? Maybe God is on his side. Or maybe God only was slightly more happy with you than him, but now when he sees that you're celebrating his downfall and you're disregarding any good in him, now God is going to be more upset at you than he was at him, and it's going to bring suffering upon you. So that's when it's your enemy, when he's not the enemy, he's your personal enemy. But regarding a great wicked person who is a mass murderer, who is a person who caused endless death and destruction, and an enemy of the people of Israel, and the enemy of all good people in the world, like Ismail Haniyeh, may his name be erased, and others who've been assassinated in recent days and weeks. That's the type of person that King Solomon tells us about. Those people, Ba'avod reshaim rina. When the wicked are destroyed, we celebrate, we rejoice. Here, the word Rashaim isn't your enemy. It's not about you. It's someone who is objectively a Rasha. Everyone will agree that that person is a Rasha. So such a person, it's very clear, according to the Jewish perspective, that it is correct and appropriate to rejoice and be happy and celebrate. And just look, we have holidays like Purim, which are all about celebrating the downfall of Haman. And traditionally, Jews jeer the name of Haman, and they cheer the hanging of Haman and his 10 sons. And this is the correct Jewish approach. And anybody who's trying to tell you that we shouldn't be happy and rejoice when wicked people like Ismail Haniyeh are destroyed is simply not properly understanding these texts. God bless.